Morning, everybody. The June 13, 2018 Board for Lease of Texas Department of Criminal Justice meeting will now come to order. First item on the agenda is number 1, approval of the minutes from our last meeting on September 25th, 2017. I believe we have one board member that was not in attendance during the meeting, so with 2 votes, I could entertain a motion to second and carry and approve the minutes, assuming no questions, comments after reviewing the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Seconded. Motion is made, seconded, and carried unanimously to approve the minutes. Next item on the agenda is number 2, consideration and action on pooling applications.
Good morning, Commissioner, board members. Robert Hatter with Energy Resources. Staff is recommending board approval of going permanent with 2 different units. One is the Eastham unit and then the Ferguson unit. They are right next to each other, obviously. They're separated by the Trinity River, which is PSF owned, which is included in the Eastham unit. Back in 2011, staff had recommended and the board approved creating large units out here, basically exploration units. The reason for that at the time was you've got 11 different leases in one unit and 12 different leases in another unit. And so what, at the time, Sequitur, who's the current operator's predecessor, Navidad, would have had to have descended on the prisons basically with a lot of rigs to have to come in and drill each lease to hold them, since they're all separate leases. Rather than doing that, we thought it would be better to let them orderly develop the farm. And so the board has since twice on both units simultaneously approved going temporary for like 2 years on one extension and 3 years on the other. The reason for that was we wanted to make sure that Navidad and later Sequitur drilled wells that would basically drill enough wells so that the regulatory maximum, not maximum, but the regulatory minimum of wells to hold that acreage. Under Railroad Commission field rules, this is in the Eastham Farm Glen Rose formation. There they can hold 640 acres plus 10% tolerance for about 704 acres. So in both units now, they have drilled enough wells to have drilled them to their full density. Sequitur, who is here, if y'all have any questions for them, they plan on drilling some additional wells, but there's nothing on the drilling schedule currently. And I can do them separately if y'all like, but since they have such a common history. On 2A, which is the Ferguson unit, Sequitur is asking and staff's recommending permanent oil and gas pooling from the surface to 100 feet below the deepest depth drilled. As I said, there have been 2 temporary units approved in the past, actually 3. There are currently in the Ferguson 10 producing unit wells, which, like I say, takes it fully drilled to regulatory density under Railroad Commission field rules. And with approval of the unit, on item 2A, the state's unit royalty participation factor will remain 25%. And staff recommends approval of item 2A, the Ferguson unit.
Can we go through 2B as well and maybe approve all under the same motion, Council?
Sure. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Assuming no questions, comments on first item.
Yeah, item 2B is the Eastham farm. It's larger. It's this one here. Covers about 13,000 acres, and there are 12 leases included in that. It's been drilled to density, just like the Ferguson unit. And Sequitur East Texas LLC is requesting permanent oil and gas pooling from the surface to 100 feet below deepest depth drilled. It's been renewed identically to the Ferguson unit, basically three different temporary units to allow for the drilling of all the wells to regulatory density. There are currently 32 producing wells, and SEM, or Sequitur East Texas, has additional wells to be drilled, but there are none currently on the drilling schedule, as I was told this morning. With approval of the unit, the state's unit royalty participation factor will remain 24.46%. The reason that it's a little less than 25% is that 2 of the leases have a royalty below 25%. One of them is at 20%, and one's at 22.5% under the terms of the leases that were let at the time. All the rest of the unit leases are 25%. and staff recommends board approval of both items 2A and 2B unless you have any questions.
What does current production look like on the second unit?
You want to state your name?
I'm Lee Elsner with Sequitur Energy. Between both units, we have roughly 1,000 barrels a day of oil. That's between both, and then roughly 4 million a day in gas. All the salt water in Ferguson, with the exception of 2 wells, is piped off. Current plans are for infrastructure on the east end to pipe that as well to reduce operational hours additionally.
Thank you. Any other questions at this time from the board?
No questions for me.
I could entertain a motion to confirm staff recommendation.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is made, seconded, and carried unanimously to approve item number 2.
Thank you.
Before we begin item number 3, I wanted to recognize for the record Lucy Wathen, Lee Elsner, and Doug DeShiel, guests that visit us today. We love having guests provide additional insights to production on state's minerals. Next item, however, will be an executive session. And so we will do so under Chapter 551, Subchapter D, Section 551, Tech 071 of the Texas Government Code for discussion consideration regarding pending or contemplated litigation and/or settlement offers to seek and receive attorney advice or counsel related to item number 3 on the docket. Following executive session, we will reconvene in open session. The open session of the June 13, 2018 Board for Lease of Texas Department of Criminal Justice meeting will resume with item number 3.
Good morning, Board. My name is Ken Mills. I'm a lawyer here at the Land Office in the Office of General Counsel, Oil and Gas Section. And on item 3, I recommend and staff recommends that the Board approve the settlement, the audit resolution agreement with Fasken Oil and Ranch Limited as we discussed in executive session. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board at this time?
No.
Could entertain a motion to confirm staff recommendation.
Make a motion to accept staff's recommendation of accepting the payment of $340,635.21.
Second.
Motion is made, seconded, and carries unanimously to approve item number 3. Thank you, Mr. Mills. There being no further business before the board, the meeting is hereby adjourned.